Shannon, put us on the record. Okay, we are here in the matter of Spar versus Cook for an evidentiary hearing regarding parenting time. Ms. Spar is present. I have a witness, Carol Ujanda. Is that pronounced correctly, ma'am? Uwanda. All right, I don't have Mr. Cook. Let me see if he's tried to contact us. Oh, here he is. As soon as we have an audio connection, we will move forward.
Your Honor, I have two of my other witnesses here with me too, just so that you know. I have Isabel Spar and Gabrielle Spar.
Thank you. Mr. Cook, can you hear me now? Well, he seems to have disappeared. He's clearly having connection issues. Mr. Cook, I can see you have your hand raised, but I don't know if you can hear me. We cannot hear you. Can you check the audio settings? It looks like we're connected. On my screen, the audio settings are in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Not sure where they are on yours, but you can click on that, click on audio settings, and it might allow you to adjust the volume. It looks like there's an audio connection, but you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can, thank you. So we're here today for an evidentiary hearing on Mr. Cook's complaints that he's being denied parenting time. I know from prior hearings that he's not been getting his parenting time. And so what I mainly want to hear today are the reasons for why he's not getting his parenting time. Since Ms. Spar, you're the one that would have the burden of proof on those reasons. I will hear from you and your witnesses first. Let's be clear on the ground rules. I know from past hearings with the two of you that you both have trouble waiting your turn to speak. I want this to go forward in an orderly fashion. I don't handle interruptions well. And if you want me to hear all that you have to say, it's better for you to wait until it's your turn. If I reach the end of my endurance with shutting either one of you up when you shouldn't be talking, there's a decent chance I'll just throw you out of the hearing and we'll go on without you. So if you've got a piece of paper handy and a pen, what you might want to do is every time you hear something that you are going to want to address when it's your turn, just make a note of it. I promise you, as long as you follow the rules, I will give you both a chance to say whatever it is you want me to hear so that I've got the full picture before I make a decision. I plan to utilize the mute key if you're speaking out of turn. I hope that will help, but each of you should keep in mind that your goal today is that I grant you whatever relief it is that you're asking. And the best way for that to happen is if you're able to convince me through testimony of yourself and witnesses that that's what I should do. But if you're not going to follow the rules, there's a good chance I won't hear everything that you want to tell me. So with that, we'll start with Ms. Spar. Ms. Spar, who would you like to call first as a witness?
Well, I subpoenaed Carl's mother, but apparently she's not going to be testifying this morning. I don't know why, but I have my daughter Isabel, and she would also like to write down some things after her dad talks so that she can comment on them.
Well, here's since I'll be hearing from your witnesses first, and then from Mr. Cook and any witnesses that he might have, if you or any of your witnesses have testimony that you want to enter in rebuttal to anything that Mr. Cook's witnesses say, you'll get a chance. But again, we'll do that in order. So which witness would you like me to hear from first?
Isabel is right here. If she can tell you what's been going on and what happened.
That's fine. Put her in front of the camera. Good morning, Isabel.
Morning. I just want to say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you.
All right, before we go ahead, I've got to put you under oath.
Okay.
Would you raise your right hand, please? You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, state your full name. You can put your hand down now.
Isabel Spar.
All right, and Isabel, how old are you?
I'm 15.
Where do you go to school?
I'm homeschooled, Michigan Great Lake Virtual Academy.
Is that because of COVID, or you've been doing that even before COVID?
I've been doing homeschooling for about 3 years.
What grade are you in?
9th.
So, Isabel, I want to make sure you understand. I know you've made an oath to tell the truth, but I want to make sure you understand. It's very, very important that what I hear is the truth. Make decisions based on the testimony that I hear in the courtroom. And if testimony that I hear is untruthful, there's a risk that I might make the wrong decision. And I don't have a lie detector machine. I have to do my best job of judging credibility based upon how a witness presents himself or herself. But it's very, very important that you tell me only the truth today. You understand that?
Yes.
All right. So I know you live with your mother and that Mr. Cook is your father.
Mm-hmm.
And I also know that you have not been regularly going to parenting time with your father. Is that correct?
Correct.
When was the last time you went for a parenting time visit with your father?
The last time that I stayed the night was probably like 6 or 7 months ago, but the last time I went with him was September 25th.
Okay, you said 6 or 7 months ago, the last time you spent the night. Was that before COVID restrictions were in place or after COVID?
It was before COVID.
Okay. And I want to hear, and I know there was some things that happened, or at least it's been alleged that things happened at this last time that you saw your father. But I want to ask you first about this visit 6 or 7 months ago. Tell me how that went.
Well, we didn't actually see him. He had to work, and so we were at our cousin's house that weekend.
How did you get to your cousin's house?
He drove us there.
Your father drove you there?
Yes.
So he picked up you at your mother's house?
Yeah.
You and was your sister there as well?
Yes, she was.
And what's her name?
Chloe Rose Cook.
Chloe, okay. And how old is Chloe?
She will be 9 in June.
All right, so your father came and picked the two of you up and then drove you to your cousin's house?
Yeah.
And what's your cousin's name?
I have 3 cousins, Brock, Harper, and Callie.
All right, and I'm assuming there was an aunt or an uncle there too as well?
Yes, my aunt and my uncle.
Aunt and uncle. And which one of your aunt or uncle is your father's sibling?
Daniel, my uncle.
Okay, Uncle Daniel, okay. And you didn't see your father again until he took you back to your mother's house? Did anything unusual happen during that visit?
No, not really.
Did you enjoy the time at your Uncle Daniel's home?
It was okay. It wasn't horrible.
So, up until that last overnight visit, how often had you been seeing your father?
Every other weekend. Every other weekend for the last year. Up until the last year, I wasn't going.
Okay. Just generally, for that last year during which you spent the every other weekend, you and your sister Chloe would go together. And are you able to say how many of those visits you actually stayed at your father's house or at your uncle's house?
Well, most of the time we were at his house. Sometimes we stayed at my grandma's house once or twice, and then I stayed at my my aunt and uncle's house. But most of the time we were at his house.
Tell me about the visits at your dad's house. How did those go generally?
They were always really stressful because it wasn't like I wasn't very comfortable there.
What was it that made it stressful or uncomfortable?
He would always always try and start arguments. And if I didn't agree with him, or if I didn't, do what he wanted me to do, he would just start screaming at me and yelling at me and telling me how much I was like my mom and that, how much he hates her. And so, it was never enjoyed it.
All right, now tell me about this most recent time that you saw your dad. Tell me again when it was. All right, so what happened on September 20th? Well, before we get into that, let me back up. So I understand that between the last overnight visit that you actually spent at your uncle's house and September 25th, you didn't have any visits with your dad, but you did see him occasionally? And how would you see him?
Usually when he would go to pick up Chloe.
He's talking from COVID till now.
Oh, COVID.
No, Spar, you cannot talk to this witness while I'm talking to her. Do not do that again.
Sorry.
Okay, so let's back up again. So from the time you last spent an overnight with your dad and September 25th, were there times that Chloe went on visits by herself?
No.
All right, so help me understand, how was it your father during that time period?
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about seeing him through COVID? Because I think I misunderstood what you said. Chloe wasn't being picked up with him during COVID. He would just stop by the house.
That's what I'm trying to ask you about, but I was trying to avoid prompting you. I wanted it to be based on your memory, not mine, okay?
Okay.
So tell me, again, from the time until you last spent an overnight, and that was also the last time Chloe spent an overnight, correct?
Correct.
Till September 25th, there were still times that Chloe saw her father, not spent time with him, but saw him. Is that right?
Yes.
And how did that happen?
He would come on the porch and he would talk to Chloe through the window.
How often did he come?
Sometimes he would come like twice a day, and then other times, we wouldn't see him for weeks.
How would you know that he was there?
He makes himself very known. He'll just come unannounced and start banging on the door and wanting Chloe to come to the window.
Knock on the door. That's what you do.
All right, Mr. Cook, I'm going to mute your microphone.
Okay.
So he would come to the door, he would bang on the door. Did you, on any of those times, ever go to the door and talk to him?
No.
Why not?
Me and my father had gotten into a fight, and then he invaded my privacy, and I was really upset for a while, and I didn't talk to him.
When did you and your father get in a fight?
I think it was in February, and I was on vacation with a family friend, and he had tried to call, and I hadn't seen that he had called, and for some reason my phone was answering for me, and so I was talking, and I went over to take my phone to go shower, and the phone was on, and it had been on for 5 minutes. And there was nobody. I wasn't talking to him. He was just listening to whatever conversation I was having. And I felt that was privacy and shouldn't have happened.
So this happened before or after your last overnight?
That was after.
So you were upset at him that he was listening to you. Did you make it known to him that you were upset with him?
I didn't even get the chance because after I had hung up, I got really nervous and I got scared. And so I called my mom and I was like, "Hey mom, dad was listening to my conversation." And he texted me and it was a really long, mean message about how, horrible my mom is and how I'm just like her and how, she's just this big liar and that he doesn't know why he expects anything else from me. And it really made me feel just so horrible, having my father say something like that to me and having it as like it was nothing to him and that I was nothing to him.
So after this incident where he had called your phone, you sent you a long text message relating the things that you just described to me.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to these screen door visits. So when he would come to the door, he wouldn't come inside the house?
No, but one time he did open the door.
And when your sister would go to the door to talk to him through the door, were you able to hear the conversation?
Yeah, because him being outside, and you could usually hear him from outside and, inside the house wherever you were.
And how did those conversations go?
Most of the time, it was just, them talking, and then other times it would be like him asking Chloe questions. One time, he got me started, as soon as Chloe got to the window, was asking her all these questions, saying, I hope your mom didn't be stupid and take you to Chicago, and like yelling at, intimidating Chloe. And Chloe was just like, me and my mom were sitting there, and she's like, I don't know what to do. And he's like yelling at her and saying that would be fit of her to do that. And so whenever he would try and talk to Chloe, he would just try and like ask her questions about, what we were doing, and that happens a lot.
Okay, let's skip forward then to September 25th. I want you to tell me from the start to the end of everything that happened that day around your dad's visit.
Okay, so when he had come to pick us up, I had gotten all my stuff ready and I had taken it out to the car. And my grandma was the one that was helping me put my stuff in the car. And she said, yeah, your dad wasn't expecting you. And I was confused because I was like, we've already told him that I was coming. He confirmed it. He said, okay, And when I walked out there, I looked at him and he just glanced at me and didn't even try and, he didn't say hi to me. He wasn't he was happy to see me. He was just angry at the most disgusting face that I've ever seen. I was really scared to get in the car because I didn't know what he was going to do, and he looked really angry. And so,
what, let me stop you. Did he say something to make you understand why he was angry?
He didn't say anything like that to me. He didn't say that, I did anything like that. He looked really angry when I first the car. And so after I got Chloe buckled in her seat, I sat down and he said, so you're not allowed to talk? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, so how are you? And I was like, I'm okay. And he was like, well, that's good because you're not staying with me tonight. You're going to Grammy's house for the night. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not leaving Chloe. And he was like, yes, you are. I'm the father. You're going to do what I say. And I kept yelling at him, saying I'm not going to leave her. And he started screaming at me and, getting really angry while he was screaming at me. His face got all red, and he kept telling me that I was at my grandma's house and that I wasn't staying with them for the night. And I was like, I'm not going to assist with you. And he looked so angry. I was shaking. I was so scared. I didn't really know what to do. I just knew that I couldn't leave Chloe. And when Chloe said, he said that Chloe looked over at me with the most scared look I've ever seen on her face. She looked at me and she said, don't leave me with him. Don't let me go. And she held my hand the whole way in the car. And while I was yelling at him, he had made a fist. he didn't swing at me, but I had looked down and seen his hand, and he moved his hand like he was going to, and I flinched like that, and then he stopped, and then his mom started yelling to him to stop yelling and to stop screaming because she couldn't take it.
So let me ask you, why was it that you were insisting on staying with Chloe?
Because there are numerous he's done that just put Chloe in danger, and he doesn't watch her. He's not safe with her, and she's so little. He doesn't watch her. I have to be there to make sure that she is safe, because every time I'm not there, something happens, and we're like, okay, the one time I'm not there, you leave her at a stranger's house with a whole bunch of people you don't know just because her aunt is there. Okay, that doesn't mean we did with them. I mean, in a pool that's too deep for them, that she said she had a hard time swimming in, and that when she was there, a little boy pulled his pants down and showed all the girls his genitalia. But that was, nobody said anything about that.
Let me stop you. You're telling me things that Chloe has told you?
Yeah, Chloe's a very honest little girl. She would never have lied about something like that.
All right, but those aren't things that you actually saw yourself, right?
Not personally, no.
All right, well, let me ask you, has Chloe ever shown any fear of her father?
Yeah, yes, 100% she has.
When?
Like when we were in the car, she looked over at me and she said, "Don't leave me. Don't leave me with him." And
so on the 25th of September, she did that.
yes.
Before then, back when you were having visits, had Chloe shown any fear of her father?
Yeah, she's always been scared of him. Whenever I'm at his house, he'll start yelling at her and immediately go to me and she keeps telling me how scared she is, and, stay with me.
Okay, let's go back to the 25th now. You're in the car. You're insisting on staying with Chloe. What happened next?
We had gotten to his house after yelling at me the whole way there and screaming at me. We had gotten to his house, and I went to go take my stuff out of the house, and he kept, screaming at me, saying that he didn't want to see me and that he was sick of seeing my face. And his mom got out of the car and was like, "Carl, it's fine, just let her stay, let her." He kept saying, "No, I'm not going to let her stay. I can't stand to look at her any longer." And so it was, I had Chloe on my hip the whole time. So when I went to go put my stuff on the porch to go inside, he didn't let me inside. He said that he had to clean up the house and to get my room ready because there was stuff in it apparently. And so he said that we were going to be going to Grammy's for an hour and that we were going to come back to his house. But halfway to my grandma's house, he had called and said that he didn't want to see my face anymore and that he couldn't stand to look at me. And so I said to her, "Can you please just take us home? And we called the police, and you can ask the cop if you don't believe me. We have multiple people that have seen it."
I just want to know what you saw. So let's back up a little. You ended up going to your grandma's house.
No, we didn't get there.
I misunderstood you then. I thought you were with your grandma and asked her to take you home. Is that not what you said?
No, we were with her, but we hadn't gotten to her house yet. But when I was there, he kept yelling at me in the face and saying that if I didn't leave with my grandmother, he was going to call the cops on me.
I see. You left his house with Chloe and your grandma?
Yes.
And when you say your grandma, do you mean your dad's mother?
Yes.
So I think I've got the picture. After you arrived at his house, you, your grandmother and Chloe then were driving to her house and you asked her to take you home.
Yes, I asked her to take us home because he had called on the way to her house and asked and said, I don't want to see her face anymore. I can't stand to look at it anymore. Just take her home. I don't want to see her. And so we drove back to his house to grab my stuff. And while we were driving back to his house, Chloe was just freaking out. She was so scared. And she said she was holding my hand so tight the whole way home. And when we got in there, I'd go to grab my stuff. And he was just yelling at me the whole, saying stuff to me. And when I'd gotten in the car, he said, when I first heard that your sister was moving to Chicago, I couldn't believe it. She was moving to the most dangerous city in the world. And then he looked at me and said, but you know what? I don't care. Go to Chicago. And I was like, oh, so you're saying go to the most dangerous city in the world. You don't care. But
so let me stop you because you lost me. What sister is that was moving to Chicago?
she's my older sister.
I see. So I'm still a little confused. You stopped at your dad's house. He got out and stayed there. You left your things on the porch, and then you, Chloe, and your grandmother were on your way to her house when this phone call came through that you've already described. So you turned around and went back to your dad's house?
Yes.
So you could get your things?
Yeah.
All right. And then you spoke to your dad again when you got back to his house. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. I want to make sure I've got this clear. And how did that conversation go?
Well, I grabbed my stuff and I started heading to the porch, to the car. And he had offered to take my stuff to the car. He kind of didn't offer, he just kind of took it from me and then took it to the car. And I was just like, oh, okay. And so I'm getting buckled up and he's still yelling at me, telling me stuff. And he looked over at me and said, I couldn't believe your sister was moving to the most dangerous city in the world. And then looking at me straight in the eye said, you know what, I don't care. Go to the most dangerous city in the world. Go to Chicago. Oh. He, went on the other side of the car to, hug Chloe. And, he kept yelling at me in my face as he's, on the other side of the car. And he asked me, he said, so just to be clear, why are we mad at Dad? And I was like, and why can't we leave Chloe with me? And I also have other stuff I'd like to tell you, but just to stick with the story, I said, well, number one, I don't know what you'll do because of other times that Chloe's been with you by herself. You haven't, watched her or anything. You've put her in danger. And that got him so angry. He said, what I'll do? And he started screaming at me and said, I can't believe it. You're so effing stupid, just like your mother. And walked off and slammed the door.
And where was Chloe all this time?
He was right in Chloe's door, so he was right next to her.
And whose vehicle was this?
This was my grandma's vehicle.
Was she driving it the whole time? All right, and then you left and your grandma took you back to your mother's house?
Yes.
Is that the last time you saw your dad? When did you see him after that?
After he had come back to pick us up again, and we wouldn't go with him.
I see. So he came for another parenting time, 2 weeks later? The next week, okay.
Yeah.
And you refused to go, and did Chloe refuse to go?
Yeah, Chloe did not want to go. She was inside telling us she didn't want to go. Please don't make me go. And my mom was like, Chloe, you have to at least go out there and tell him you don't want to go. And so Chloe was too scared to, so she had me do it. And I went out there and I was like, I'm not going to go with you. I don't feel comfortable going with you. So I'm not going to. He started getting very angry and, yelling, saying why I wasn't wanting to go with him. And I was like, did you not see what happened last weekend? Did you really think we were going to go with you after that? And so after talking to him and him yelling at me. But he wasn't with my grandma. He was with, I don't know who, I'm guessing was his girlfriend, but he wasn't with my grandma and it wasn't in my grandma's car. It was with somebody else.
Did he come back again anytime after that?
Yeah, he did. He came back the next weekend after that.
And what happened then?
The same thing. Me just telling him that I wasn't going to go and him continuing to yell at me.
So were you the one to tell him every time that Chloe didn't want to go either?
2 weeks after he had come, Chloe went onto the porch and yelled from the porch that she didn't want to go and that she was scared of him.
When was the last time that he came to your house?
Probably about 4 weeks ago.
And did something similar happen then? You told him you didn't want to go and that Chloe didn't want to go.
Yes.
Okay. You said there were some other things you wanted to tell me. Now's your chance.
Okay. Like I said, him not being safe with her and not watching her. Well, Chloe had climbed up on the shed roof after me telling him it wasn't safe. I was like, Chloe, it's like, Dad, that's not a good idea. Chloe is, very wild. It's not a good idea to have her up there. Well, he walked away while I was in the house. I came out and she was on the ground crying. And so I ran over to her and Dad had run over to her. And I asked her what happened. And she said she'd fallen off of the shed. And she'd fallen off of the side of it and kind of like rolled down and fell onto a piece of wood that was laying next to the trampoline. And she had broke her thumb. No, she had severely sprained her thumb, and she had hit the back of her tailbone severely hard, and it left a huge bruise. But the whole time Chloe's thumb was sprained, I didn't know. I didn't know that her thumb hurt at all because he wasn't letting her tell me the whole time we were at his house for the next day. Chloe had a wrap on her thumb, and I was like, oh, what happened to your thumb? And she was like, I hurt my thumb really bad. And so after she said that, Dad came in, he was like, oh, she's fine. It's just a little scratch. And I didn't think anything of it. Well, when we got home, she ran to Mom and said, Mom, my thumb hurts really bad. And she started crying. And we took the wrap off of her thumb, and her thumb was 2 times larger than it should have been, and it was black and blue. And so, we immediately took her to the Med Express right down the street from our house, and they had said that her thumb was severely sprained.
Was there anything else that you wanted to tell me?
Yeah. Leaving Chloe alone in the store by herself when she was like 4, I think.
How do you know about that?
Chloe.
All right. I want you to only tell me about things that you saw.
Well, when I was probably, I would say 9, he left us in the truck down the street. He left his truck down the street from our house in tobacco shop parking lot and went into the phone store to get his phone fixed. And it was in the middle of winter. He left us in the car by ourselves and went into the phone store for probably at least 3.5 hours. Only came to check on us one time, and he didn't leave the car on, so we were in the car freezing, and there was no blankets or anything in there. And Chloe was crying, telling me she was so cold, and I couldn't have done anything because of him not being there.
Right. Isabel, I really want to focus on things that are recent, not stuff that happened a long time ago. Is there anything else recent that you'd like to tell me about?
Yeah. So he always says that this is a game, but I don't understand how it could be a game when Chloe is screaming, crying, yelling at you to stop. He will hold her down and pop each one of her toes as she's screaming and crying to have him stop doing what he's doing. And he does it all the time. Every single time we're over, he always acts like it's a game that he's playing, and it's not. He's actually hurting her.
So does she squeal like she's having fun, or does she squeal like she's hurting?
No, she was crying real tears, and he was laughing, saying it was all a joke, and it's not. Not if your child is crying, telling you to stop.
Anything else?
Yes. So, there's a lot of times where he will start something with me. I think it was one of the first or second times I ever went over there. We were coloring in his room and we were watching a movie, and he randomly asked me, he was like, "So, have you seen Todd lately?" And that's my mom's ex-husband. And I said, "They don't get along." I said, "No, not recently." And he goes, "Well, how recent? Like before Bub died?" And I was like, "No, it hasn't been that long." And I usually don't like talking to him about this because he will start screaming at me and telling me he's my only father, and that Todd is nothing to me. And it's really hard to hear because Todd has always been like a father figure to me. Carl never has been, you know. And so he started screaming at me and saying, "I'm your only father. God will never be your father." He got up from the bed and he snapped like a pen in half and threw it at the wall. And he stood up and kept rolling his neck around and, puffing out his chest, looking like he was going to attack me or something. He was really angry. It was really terrifying. I was just crying and had no idea what was going to happen, and kept saying I wanted to go home, and he wouldn't let me. And it happens a lot, though. I mean, at least every single once a night, he'll just start screaming at me for no reason, or he'll start something to make himself angry. And I'm the kind of person that when I get scared, I don't react, I just freeze up. And so I don't know what to do when he acts like that. I'm afraid he's really going to hurt us one day. And I don't want to have to wait till we get hurt. I just want it to stop.
All right. Isabel, have you told me about everything important?
There's a lot more, but I think just the basic important stuff, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Cook, I'm going to unmute you, or you're going to have to do it, actually. Hold on, Isabel.
All right, I did.
Hold on. All right, Mr. Cook, I'm going to give you a chance to testify, but right now I want to know, are there any other questions you want me to ask Isabel?
I'll just ask her if she was so scared and so worried for Chloe's sake, where was she 2 years prior? I took her to Yogi Bear's campground 2 years in a row prior to this year, which got screwed up because of this whole thing. She kept them from me, and I couldn't see my kids.
Hold on. Let me ask her that. So, do you remember going to Yogi Bear campground with your dad and Chloe?
Runner.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm sorry, Mr. Cook. What did I get the question wrong?
Yeah, just that she did not go the 2 years prior. Chloe went with me down to Indiana and to hotel rooms and all sorts of fun activities that she didn't go to for 2 years. Why didn't she go then? Why wasn't she worried then?
I got you. So, do you remember a period of time where Chloe went alone to visits and you didn't go?
Yeah, when I wasn't going, it wasn't him acting like that wasn't even nearly as bad. I mean, he still yelled and screamed at her, but it wasn't to the extent that it is now. It is right now. It wasn't that bad.
And so your sister was going to these visits alone. Why weren't you going to visits?
I started going and then I stopped going because I couldn't take it anymore. I was sick of having to be put through that every other weekend.
Because of him being angry and yelling at you?
Just the emotional stress he would put me under. I didn't know how to take it. I was scared. And
So back then, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but his yelling directed to you and not to Chloe?
it was just to both. It was, whoever he was talking to and whoever made him mad. How it started.
But
Your
in
Honor,
any event,
the record.
hold on, Mr. Cook.
Yes,
Hold
sir.
on. At least back then, Chloe was not acting afraid to go alone to spend parenting time with her father. Is that fair?
She was always scared of him and never wanted to go without me,
But she went.
but she had to.
She wanted to.
All right. All right. Mr. Cook, any other questions that you'd
I
like
would
me to
just-
ask Isabel?
Your Honor, I would just like to state for the record, I didn't yell at the girls. I had no need to yell at the girls. These girls,
Mr. Cook, remember the rules I told you about earlier?
I have
if
no
you-
idea what rule I'm breaking right now. No.
The rule you're breaking right now, it is not your turn to testify. I'm just asking you if you have any questions for her. But
Yeah,
I will,
I guess that's
I
it,
will-
Your Honor.
thank you. Thank you, Isabel.
Welcome.
So we may need to hear more from you later, but for now, we're done questioning you.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Spar, who would you like me to hear from next?
I don't get to talk at all.
My mom is on Zoom. We can go to my mom, and then my older daughter is here today.
All right, well, hold on a minute. I want to address Mr. Cook. He just asked a question. Mr. Cook, I've told you this over and over again. I'm going to hear from these witnesses first. That's how we do things in court. We don't go back and forth. We do things in order. So I'm hearing from these witnesses first. You will get every opportunity to speak, but you have to wait your turn.
Your Honor,
Right.
how am I supposed to keep up with 10,000 lies from 3-4 different people? I can't write down 50,000 things that are wrong, and then when it's my turn to talk, I'm like trying to put together a
Mr.
couple
Cook?
sentences that are wrong. It's like it's unbelievable.
Mr. Cook,
I
Mr.
can't
Cook.
talk. Okay.
Mr. Cook, that's how we do things in court. You never want to do things the correct way. I have to scold you every time you're in front of me to wait your turn. I will listen to what you have to say. I promise you, but you got to wait until it's your turn. That's why I told you to make notes of things you want to address later, but we are not going to go back and forth. We have rules and we're going to follow those rules. They're not my rules, but I think they're good ones. So I'm going to mute you again since you have trouble restraining yourself from speaking out, but I will give you a chance to speak when it's your turn. So you want to call Ms. Buwanda next?
Yes.
Ms. Buwanda, would you please raise your right hand? You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, I need you to state your name and spell your last name.
Carol Buhanda, Bujanda.
And I apologize for mispronouncing your name. It's Buhanda.
Right.
All right, what?
Happens.
Well, I'll try to do better. What is your relationship to Jennifer Spar?
I'm her mother, and I'm also the grandmother to Isabel and Chloe.
All right. So you've been present for this hearing. That the reason is for me to hear about why Mr. Cook hasn't been getting his parenting time. So you're not the grandmother who was present on September 25th, correct?
I was there at Jennifer's house, but I'm not the grandmother that was driving.
Oh, okay. But you were present at Jennifer's house that day.
Yes, I've been there every time he's come.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as we're talking about September 25th, I want you to tell me what you observed that day.
You had made a ruling on that Thursday that he was to get his parenting time, I think like 8 weekends in a row or something like that. the girls didn't want to go, and Jennifer asked me to please come over. She said, I'm extremely stressed and worried. Could you just come over and keep us calm? I came over, and he came up in the car. I was outside, and he came up in the car with his mom. I didn't realize they were behind me. I was taking pictures, and I said hello, and he said hello. I said I didn't see you there. And then I went in to tell the girls that he was there. Isabel came out with food and water, put it in the back of her grandma's car, came back out with a bag of clothes, put them inside the car, went back in to get Chloe, and she was gone quite a while. And then she came back out carrying Chloe, which I thought was strange because she's 8 years old and her legs are so long. She got her buckled in the car, and Jennifer asked, does she have a car seat? And I believe it was Lois and Carl both said yes. So she put her in the car seat, and Jennifer asked from the porch, are you going to wear a mask? Because both girls had their mask on. And I don't know who she was talking to, whether it was the grandma or the dad. And he yelled back at her something about, yeah, smarty pants, inside my house too. Well, then they started to take off, and he turned around and started screaming at Isabel, and you could hear him. They went down the street to turn around because it's a dead end street. And you could hear him all the way down the street in the other driveway. And then coming back, you could hear him all the way down to the corner, which is about 8 or 9 houses away. And later, I understood.
Let me stop you. Let me stop you. Could you hear what he was saying?
No, not really. Just loud. It was just loud and angry. I couldn't tell what he was saying, but he was definitely.
You mentioned a name. I think it was Lois. Is that his mother's name?
Yes.
You're acquainted with her?
I'm sorry?
Are you acquainted with her? You know who she is?
Yeah, I know who Lois is. Yes.
Okay. So is that the sum total of what you observed on that day?
No.
What did you observe?
They came back with their grandmother. They got out of the car. Their mom went down the steps by the porch, and Isabel came running up to her mom and just cried hysterically. Jennifer started crying hysterically, and then Chloe ran up and she was crying hysterically. And Lois was unloading the stuff from the back of the car, and Jennifer went over to Lois, and Lois said, I'm sorry.
All right, I need to stop you there because that's secondhand information. I can't really consider hearsay.
Okay.
Could hear it from the porch.
It's the question of whether she heard it. The issue is one of the rules of evidence.
Okay.
Okay, anything else you remember from that day that is not something that someone else said?
Yes, it was Jennifer felt she needed to call the police, and they came up on the porch, and the girls were there. She was there. I was there. And he said, there's really nothing I can do because this is civil. You have to get a hold of Child Protective Services. And they talked some more, but we and the girls went inside.
Okay. Ms. Barr, was there any other testimony you wanted to offer through your mother?
As far as things that she has seen.
As long as they're recent,
Okay.
that she saw them firsthand. I don't want to hear about things 6 years ago. I want to hear about things within the past year. If she has personally witnessed something, she can certainly testify to that.
Okay, so I called my mom every Friday to come back here. Next week, he showed up with someone we have no idea.
Hold. I'm just going to ask her. I don't want to hear your testimony. Okay. I'll hear yours later. Right now, I want to hear your mother's testimony. So, Ms. Buhonda, Are there other times that you've been present to observe interactions between Mr. Cook and his girls, or interactions between Mr. Cook and Ms. Spar when he's been there to get the girls?
Yes, I was there every time, usually on the porch. And so Isabel had decided the next week, she said, I'm just going to go out. She told me this. I'm just going to go out and tell my dad nicely that we don't want to go, and try to explain to him why we don't want to go, and I don't want to let Chloe.
All right, I heard from her. I want to hear what you observed, not
Okay.
what Chloe or Isabel said.
Okay, I understand. Isabel went to the car. He was parked on the street, and she was on the sidewalk, and there's a parkway between, like a buffer. And she was talking to her dad, and he started getting upset, and she tried to keep talking to him, and he would talk over the top of her, get louder and louder. And then she would get upset, and he started to walk away. He said, go on and cry, little girl. So every single time it's been a repeat of that. She would go to the car, she would tell him they're not going, he would get angry and yell at her. Not the whole time. Sometimes he'd say, well, why aren't you coming? You came when my dad was alive. Why aren't you coming? And it was extremely stressful, I know, on myself. I can't imagine them.
Okay, I think that that covers the important things that you saw. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Cook, I'm going to unmute you to see if there are any other questions you want to ask her. Not for you to testify. That'll come later. Okay?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ms.
Yeah.
Who would you like me to hear from next?
Tell Gabrielle. My older daughter, she just wanted to say some things as far as Carl is concerned that she has witnessed over the years, and things that have told her. So I'll let her.
I can't. She can't testify to things the girls told her. That's hearsay.
Okay.
And if she hasn't had any contact with Mr. Cook in the last year, the testimony wouldn't be particularly valuable to me.
Okay.
Has she heard things from him or observed him in the last year? Do you know?
I would just like to explain how evil of a person he is. I feel like no one has really just came right out and said how evil he is.
Hold on a minute. Go ahead and sit in front of the camera. All right. I'm going to put you under oath and ask you a few questions and determine whether or not I can listen to what you have to say. Would you raise your right hand, please? You do swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You put your hand down. What's your full name?
Full name Gabrielle Spar. Last name spelled Spahr.
Is Mr. Cook? Are you related directly to Mr. Cook?
No, but I have been around him for the last 16 years as I'm the girl's sister.
All right. You're Jennifer Spar's daughter.
Yes.
And how old are you?
I am 29.
When is the last time you lived at home with your mother?
5 years ago.
So since 5 years ago, have you had any direct interaction with Mr. Cook?
Just here and there, maybe seeing him when he's came to pick up the girls, but nothing, no like events or like anything that he's been at that I've been at as well.
So from what you said before I put you under oath, it sounds like you want to talk about his character.
Yes.
So I know what you know about his character is based, at least in terms of firsthand information, about things that happened 5 years or more ago, correct?
in person, but I've been there with the girls nonstop. I try and come into Jackson once a month at least just to be there. They'll come and see me. I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment in Chicago that they come and see me at every now and then.
All right,
I see the
let me ask. So more than 5 years ago, you had a lot more interaction with Mr. Cook than you've had recently. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
And during that time period, I didn't ask you when it began, but it ended 5 years ago. You had a fair amount of contact with Mr. Cook. And as a result of that ongoing contact, you formed some opinion about his character.
Yes.
And in the occasions that you've seen him since then, have you seen things that confirm to you that the opinion you formed about his character 5 years ago continues to the present?
Your Honor, I feel like it's getting worse. I know it's getting worse, and it's getting to the point where these girls need somebody to protect them. I don't know what needs to happen, but you are their last chance. They are not going to end up another statistic. You need to get it through whoever's head.
All right, let me stop you. I need to know what, based upon the interactions you had with him 5 years ago and things that you've seen more recently, what is your opinion of his character?
That he is still an evil person, a very evil person, and he's trying to take these girls. I don't know what he's trying to do to them, but he is evil. Like, the way that you treat these girls, nobody should ever have to be treated like that, much less their father. He's just an evil person, and they need to be protected. They don't have anybody. They're begging us to tell you.
All right, let me stop you. I'm going to hear from both of the girls, so I don't need to hear you tell me what the girls want, because the girls will tell me what they want. What I'm simply trying to get at, now you said based on past interactions confirmed by more recent occasions that you believe he's an evil person. I need to know what you mean by that.
Just the way that he speaks to the girls and like the conniving things that he does to them. He manipulates them. He's just evil. The way that he speaks to my mom about them, it's not for the good of them, it's for himself.
You say evil, do you mean he's mean-spirited?
Yes, very much so. And on like a whole nother level, something you've never seen before. It's scary.
Has he in the past, has he ever acted that way towards you?
Yes, me and my brother, plenty of times. He's gotten physical with my brother before. He's thrown things at me before. He's not a good person, and it's terrible that these girls had to even be involved in anything like this. But this is the situation that we're in now, and now our job is.
All right. I understand your concern, and I understand your opinion of Mr. Cook and how you arrived at that opinion. It's not your job to plead with the court as to what I'm going to do. It's your job to testify. You've done that. Thank you. Mr. Cook.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are there any questions that you would like me to ask this witness?
No questions. I knew what she'd say.
All right, thank you.
Of course you do.
Okay, hold on. We're done. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Spar, who's your next witness?
Well, I subpoenaed his mom and I notified her ahead of time, told her she was subpoenaed. I sent her a reminder this morning, and she's basically saying that she never knew about it. She talks to Carl every single day, multiple times a day. She knew she was supposed to testify this morning. She knew she was subpoenaed, and she chose to not show up, and she also chose to say she didn't know about it, and that is his key witness. Why did so? I mean, that's all.
I can take action when a witness refuses to obey a subpoena, but I can only do that if I have proof that the subpoena was served upon her. There's a return of service with the subpoenas that I issued at your request, but none of those returns have been filed with the court. So I don't have any proof in front of me that she was properly served with a subpoena. In any event, she's not here, so obviously I won't be able to hear from her. Are there witnesses who are here that you want me to hear from?
The only other one that's here is Chloe, and to be honest, Your Honor, I think she may be a little bit too young, but if you'd like me to bring her here, you can ask her some questions if you'd like.
I don't normally like to put
And
children. Ma'am, you need to let me finish. I don't normally like to put younger children on the witness stand to put them in the middle of a fight between their parents. It's not healthy for them.
Yeah,
I do, and on certain occasions, request that. But let me ask, it's clear you would prefer not to put her in this position. Let me ask Mr. Cook. Mr. Cook, would you like me to question Chloe?
No, Your Honor, I would not like to put her through that, and anything that she would have said would be scripted and gone over. So it serves no purpose.
All right, fair enough. So I won't be hearing from Chloe. So it looks like my last witness, Ms. Spar, is going to be you. Okay? All right.
So, Your Honor,
would you? I'm not going to be able to mute you,
okay.
but I'm going to tell you. I want you to listen to my questions. When I'm done asking the question, I want you to answer that question. Just that question. I will give you a chance to add other things, but for now, it's going to be question and answer. I ask the question, you answer the question, and when you're done answering the question that I ask, you're going to stop talking until I ask you another question. Got it?
Yes.
All right. Raise your right hand, please. You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
State your full name. You don't need to spell it.
My name is Jennifer Melissa Spar.
Okay. Ms. Spar, the main thing I want to hear about is what happened on September 25th from start to finish,
Okay.
from the time that Mr. Cook arrived until he left. I want you to tell me what you observed. I don't want you to tell me what anyone said except Mr. Cook. You can tell me what he said, but you can't tell me what anyone else said. Okay? All right, go ahead.
So I had court on the 24th, the day before. And when I came home from court, I had to tell the girls what happened because I had to prepare them for going with their dad. The months prior to that, he was acting very aggressive and intimidating. And so they had seen a lot over that 3-month period of time before that. The first 3 months were okay. So when he got to the house... Stop.
I just want to make sure I understand clearly. So the first 3 months of not being able to have direct visits when he was coming to talk to Chloe on the porch, yes, that went pretty well.
Yes, because
but then, okay, I don't need a because. Then the second half, the next 3 months leading up to the September date, you observed him being, that they didn't go well. Tell me what you observed then.
Well, the warrant was dropped. He came over. I mean, it was like almost the day after they dropped the warrant. And he started trying to start arguments with me, which is what he likes to do a lot.
Okay, stop. What warrant are you talking about?
He was issued a warrant because when we went to court in November, he said he wasn't going to pay child support anymore, and he got.
I see. Stop. What you're talking about was a bench warrant that was issued for related to child support enforcement.
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
So, in any event, regardless of why his behavior changed, according to your observations, how did his behavior change?
Well, he started showing up and picking fights with me. So it came to the point where I just didn't even go to the window. He would come to the front porch. Sometimes he would knock on the door or the window, and sometimes he would just shout Chloe's name super loud. And if we were in the backyard swimming, I would have to pull Chloe out of the pool and bring her inside to talk to him. But I would leave because I didn't want him to ask questions to me because his behavior changes. So he started getting aggressive with me, and I chose to just stay out of the room. But we would listen to what they would talk about, and he started drilling Chloe on the whole COVID, that it's not real, and that your mom's filling your head with a bunch of lies, that nobody dies from it, and that kids don't get it, and that the coronavirus is just political, and that President Trump is the greatest president in the world, and that he would never lie to us. And he would just be filling her head full of these political things. And she's 8. She doesn't, she
All right. So let's talk about, the reason you were not allowing your daughters to go on every other weekend with their father is because of your fear over COVID?
He never even asked to take them. He didn't even ask to take them until August. It wasn't until, I believe, the third week in August is when he wanted to take them. And it's because we've been super safe.
Wait a minute. I just want to make sure this is clear. It sounds like, from what you already told me, that when Mr. Cook was showing up on the porch, he was expressing disagreement with whether these precautions were necessary.
Yes.
Is that fair?
No, I mean, not that. He just wanted, it wasn't that he wanted to take them. He didn't even ask to take them at all. He would just show up sometimes a couple times a day and want to argue. And a lot of times it would be about COVID, but most of the time it was just other things. It was things from the past that he would bring up.
All right. So what you're saying is during this period up until August, he was not insisting on getting his visits.
In fact, he never came on the weekends. He only came like Monday through Thursday. He would never come on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. We didn't even see him.
Okay. But beginning in August, you said he started requesting actual visits with the girls.
Yes, because
And you, hold on, but you refused those visits, correct?
no, I didn't refuse those visits. I sent him an email and I said to him that there was not really anything that I could do, but he hadn't been wearing a mask and he hadn't been social distancing, and it was in his family. His family actually had the coronavirus, and he was telling me and Chloe and Isabel that he was.
How do you know his family had the coronavirus?
He mentioned to me that somebody in his family had the coronavirus, and
all right, you know it because he told you that.
Yeah. Yes.
How do you know that he wasn't himself being careful?
Because he would tell me that he doesn't wear a mask and that a mask is just political and a mask doesn't do any good. And knowing who he is, he's not good with hygiene. I've never seen him wash his hands when he leaves the bathroom.
All right.
His hands before.
All right. I've got the background. I've got the background. Now what I want to hear about is what you observed or what you heard Mr. Cook say on the 25th of September.
Okay, so when he came on the 25th, I was inside and I was talking to Chloe and I was telling her, she was crying and she didn't want to go, and she kept saying to me, "Mommy, please don't make me go. Please don't make me go." She became very fearful of him. Because there was one time he scooped her up and went running down the street with her, and he took her around the corner and he set her down in the grass and he told her to take her mask off. And she told him no. And she said that she was.
Wait a minute. I told you I only want to hear what you observed and what you heard Mr. Cook say. I don't want to hear what anybody else had to say. That's considered hearsay. It's not admissible in a court of law. What Mr. Cook says is admissible because it's considered an admission by the other party. So you
Okay.
can tell me what he said,
So he,
and you can tell me what you saw on the 25th. So
okay,
you've told me that Chloe was fearful of going with her,
Yeah,
her
she did.
father. I that. What
I
did you observe?
I Chloe that Isabel was going to stay with her and that she didn't have to be scared, that Isabel would try to be, well, I didn't say you didn't have to be scared. I just said Isabel would be with you. And I pretty much was trying to drag her out of the house and she was refusing to go, but she knows when she gets outside, she has to instantly stop acting like that because otherwise he's going to later punish her for it.
All
So
right, hold on. I don't want to hear what you think Chloe is thinking. You're not a mind reader. That's inadmissible testimony. Again, don't tell me those things. I only want to hear what you observed with your own two eyes or what you heard Mr. Cook say. Not what anyone else said, not what anyone else was thinking, okay?
So I went out onto the porch and Isabel was walking Chloe to the car and putting Chloe in the car. And I had asked his mom and him, were they going to be wearing a mask inside of the car? And he started screaming at me and telling me, no, we're not going to be wearing any masks. We don't want to get sick from wearing a mask. And no, the kids aren't going to be wearing a mask. And he was just going, and I left it at that. And his mom grabbed her mask and put her mask on. And I said, okay, thank you, Lois. And he kept yelling at me. And I walked where he couldn't see me. And then he started yelling at the kids before the car even, I mean, it was like driving down the street before the car almost pulled away. He started yelling into the back seat. And I didn't know at the time if he was yelling at the girls or if he was yelling at his mom. So
So let me stop you. You heard him yelling, but you'd really hear what he was saying?
Couldn't really hear what he was saying, just screaming like, and then he went down the street. They went down the street to turn around and he was screaming in the neighbor's driveway. And then they backed the car out and you could hear him all the way down to the stop sign. And I just broke into tears because I was so scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I just felt so bad for them because they've been put in this situation so many times. And when is somebody going to recognize the danger? And so about maybe not quite an hour later, I got a message. I had my mom stay here because we only have one. So I gave that phone to take with her. So I didn't have a phone. So my mom stayed here with me for a while and just kind of tried to calm me down. And then she got a message on her phone because that Isabel was instructed to my mom or call my mom if she needed anything. And she said that the text message said that they were going to be coming back home. And I was confused. I didn't really know what was going on. And so I mentioned, you're on your way here. And she mentioned that first of all, she said, well, we're going to go to Grammy's for an hour and then we're going to come home. But they didn't. They just came right back here. And when they got here, they were both just hysterical. They just came running to me and grabbed a hold of me and started telling me what happened. And so I walked out to the car and his mom was out there and she was crying and she threw her hands up into the air and she said, I'm so sorry they had to go through that. And she said, I have no control over him. I have no control over what he does. And I grabbed her arm and I said, Lois, I said, please help us protect these kids. Please tell them what you have seen. And so Isabel, she ended up leaving and we called the police. And when the police got here, he talked to the girls, but he said he couldn't fill out a report because Carl didn't actually punch Isabel. he said if he would have punched her, then they would have been able to file a report. But he said the only thing he could do was listen to the girls. And so I called the police officer and I asked him, I left messages with him, could you please testify for us? Could we please subpoena you so that you can testify as to what the girls said to you? And they were just distraught. They were just bawling their eyes out. They were so scared. And Isabel kept saying, I am never going with him again. I am never going with him again. My sister is never going with him again. I promise.
All right, let me stop you. I already heard from Isabel. I don't need to have you tell me what Isabel was thinking or doing. I've got that from her. So since the 25th, have you had any further interaction with Mr. Cook?
He came the next weekend on that Friday, and I had my mom come over, and I knew he was going to show up because his main goal is to get me to go to jail. That's all he wants out of this, is to punish me. He has always hated me and wanted to.
All right. The question was, did you have any more interaction?
Yeah, he showed up, and so I told Isabel and Chloe, I said, I have to send you guys. There isn't anything I can do, but you guys make the decision for yourself because I can't tell you guys not to go. The judge has ordered you guys to go. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, I hope to goodness he doesn't show up. But I knew he was going to, and he showed up, and he acted like nothing was wrong. He had some random woman with him. She had her all covered up with a sweatshirt. She had big glasses on and a mask over her face. So we didn't have any idea who she was. We'd never seen that car before or her. So obviously the girls are like, I don't have a clue who this is. And he just started, Isabel went down there. She put a recording of what was said between them. And he was just like, she was saying that no loving parent would ever.
Hold on. You're telling me what other people are saying.
I heard it.
It doesn't matter if you heard it.
But anyways,
what I'm telling you is you can't tell me what other people said except Mr. Cook. Did you hear Mr. Cook say anything?
Yes, I did.
What did he say?
He kept saying to her, what do you got to say, little girl? Come on, let's hear what you got to say. And then when she would start talking, he would interrupt her and he would say something that was totally a lie. Like, oh, you were daddy's little girl. And she was looking like, you're saying she's, this woman's here. And he would talk over her, and he would say things to her that were totally off the wall. She wouldn't even know how to answer them because it was a total lie.
All right. So in any event, on that day, both of your girls refused to go with their father, right?
Yes, he had
Did he come back the next weekend?
That first day that he showed up, he brought a brand new doll for Chloe in a box, and he held the doll up and he said, Chloe, come and get your doll. Come and get your doll. And she was just on the front porch shaking her head like, I am not going down there. And I said, do you want to go down there? And she said, no. She said, I am not going down there.
All right. You answered the question. So did he come the next weekend? You remember what happened the next weekend?
The next weekend, the same thing happened. Isabel went down there to talk, and Chloe went outside and was at the front porch, and she said to her dad, that they were scared of him, that they did not want to go, and that he needed to get, help, and that there was an issue, that no loving parent would treat her, and he did the same thing again, talking over her.
All right, let me stop you then. So how more times did he show up for his visits? Do you remember?
He showed up 4 more times, and on the third time he showed up, he had whoever was with him drive the car down the street, and they pulled into it's an old man that lives down there. And I videotaped it. You could hear him yelling at the old man at the top of his lungs. I have a video. And he was talking to the guy. The older guy was like totally lost. He has no idea who's in his driveway. He's seen Carl, but never talked to Carl. And he stayed down there for almost 20 minutes. And
He come to the house,
yes, that was after he left my house.
and then what happened? Same thing, Isabel went to talk to him.
Yes,
Isabel and Chloe refused to go.
yes. But that car that was bringing him on Fridays, we seen that car come down our street a couple of times before he even started coming to get them. And we seen it a few times after that too. And I have a video that dates the time.
That's fine. So he came one more time on a Saturday for his visit.
Friday.
Friday, same thing. Isabel went to speak to him. Chloe and Isabel both refused to go.
Yes.
Anything different happened on that last time that he came?
They pulled into the driveway instead of out front.
Other than that?
I can't think of anything different.
All right. So Ms. Barr, I'm going to see if Mr. Cook has any questions he wants me to ask you before we hear from him. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions you'd like me to ask Ms. Barr?
Just one question, Your Honor. I would like you to ask her, what is the one name that she calls me every single time that I've ever called there or stopped there and talked to her? What is the name that she calls me?
What's your answer, ma'am?
I don't know what he's referring to.
What is the name? You to somebody and you say, hello, what?
Chachi?
How about Daddy? She calls me Daddy every single time I talk to her. I tell her not to call me Daddy.
Hold on.
Chloe, Daddy.
Miss Barr, do you call him Daddy?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you know that he doesn't want you to call him that.
Yes.
Am I supposed to say Chloe? Carl's here.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. So when you say Daddy, you're referring to him
as
Chloe.
Yes.
You're not calling him Daddy. You're saying to Chloe, Daddy is here.
Yes.
Oh, she says, hi, Daddy.
Hold on. You're going to get a chance to testify very shortly, sir.
Yes.
Did you have any more questions for her?
No, that's about it.
Okay, so I need to take a short break. I'm going to keep this meeting room open, but I'm going to mute all of your microphones because I don't want you talking to each other while we're on a break, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I assume that's Chloe. All right, I'll be back in just a few minutes. Hello, Chloe.
Remember, I'm running out of 10 to 11.
Sure. I'm going to be eating so much. Shannon, put us back on the record.
Go ahead.
I believe we're done with all of Ms. Barr's testimony and her witnesses. So now, Mr. Cook, it's going to be your turn to testify. Ms. Barr, the same rules apply to you that apply to Mr. Cook. I don't want you speaking out. I will give you a chance to pose questions when he's done. I will also give you the chance, if he says something that's within the knowledge of one of the witnesses you've already called, to recall them to address whatever it is. But again, write it down so you remember to ask it. Don't speak up. Don't interrupt. I'm going to keep you muted, frankly, because I have doubts about your ability to stay quiet. But you'll be able to hear everything. So, Mr. Cook, I'm going to put you under oath now. You raise your right hand, please. You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And state your full name for the record.
Carl Leon Cook.
You can put your hand down now. Okay, Mr. Cook, I know there's a lot you want to address. I want to ask some specific questions, the things I want to know the answer to, and I will give you a chance to tell me whatever it is you want to tell me to address any of the things that were said earlier. So there's been a lot of testimony about what happened on September 25th at that occasion, and I'll give you a chance to tell me from your perspective what happened. Before that, I want to ask about these other visits to the porch for the several months leading up to that. Ms. Spar said that these visits occurred not on your normal parenting time, but usually during the week and were typically unannounced. You would show up at the home and ask to speak to Chloe. Is that accurate?
Correct.
And Chloe would normally come to the door and talk to you?
She wouldn't come to the door. She would come to the window. I had to talk to her through the porch window with the window closed where I could barely hear her most of the time. And then finally, after numerous visits, I finally got her to at least open the window a crack so I could at least hear and understand what Chloe's saying.
I see.
yeah.
Let me get the picture here. So the setting is there's a front on the front of Ms. Spar's house that's enclosed with windows.
Correct.
So you would stand on the ground and speak through the window to Chloe?
I'd stand on the porch there and speak to her through the window, yes.
So would she be on the porch or would she be in the house?
She'd be in the house.
I see. So the porch itself wasn't enclosed with windows. It's an open porch?
Correct.
I see. You would go to the door to let them know you were there, or to the window, or
I'd knock
either?
on the door and then I'd tap on the window as well.
Okay, and normally on these occasions, Chloe would come to talk to you?
Correct. And if they didn't come up after a few knocks, then I would yell into the backyard because, like she stated, that they do have a pool, so they would be back there, and I'd yell so they could hear me.
All right. And how often did you show up on the porch to talk to Chloe?
I don't know an exact number, but I would try and show up once a week after a certain point of, I don't know, it was a month of COVID or what it was, but I just started coming up and just showing up randomly.
All right. And normally there wasn't an incident. Eventually she would come to the window and you'd get a chance to talk to her even though you couldn't hear her very well.
Correct.
All right. Did Chloe always seem eager to see you?
Oh yeah, she's always happy as can be, and at the same time sad that she couldn't see me, and I could see it in her face, and she would always put her hand on the window and wanting me to put my hand on the window, and she would put her cheek on the window and she'd want me to rub the glass with my one finger, and it was like I was rubbing her face, and she would always do that before I left and when I got there, and I'd bring her presents. I had to leave them on the porch. She couldn't touch anything or open anything because they had to be disinfected for COVID. And so
Did you see Isabel on any of these visits?
No, I didn't. One time she went walking past after I just bought her, I don't know, I thought it was a $50 gift certificate, but it might have been only a $25. But regardless, I got her a gift certificate. She never once said thank you. She never once said, hi, Daddy, love you, Daddy, nothing. She always, like I said, I might have seen her one time and she just walked past and she never said anything to me, nothing.
So do your parenting time complaints include complaints that you've not been allowed to see Isabel?
Well, they just in conferences, seeing the girls in general, but I'm at a point where I don't even want Isabel to come over. I mean, the way her mom has manipulated her and twisted her around. She stayed away for like that 2 years there prior. And during that time, she got more and more distant where she just basically hated me. That's why how Isabel stated in the car when we had the argument and we were at my house before they left, I said, so what has Daddy done? Why is Daddy so bad? And her first thing she says is something like, well, we don't know what you're going to do. And that's why I said, what I'm going to do? What are you talking about? I said, your mom has you so screwed up. She's got you hating me for no reason. Something to that, I'm paraphrasing, but something to that nature. And I was just dumbfounded. I'm like, do you know what I'm going to do? I don't even spank the girls. The girls are very well behaved. One thing I will give Jen credit for, they're very well behaved and well mannered. Other than that, they're completely manipulated and twisted into their faith, which is a Jehovah's Witness. And basically anybody who's not a Jehovah's Witness, they can lie to you, they can lie to me, as long as it's in their name to protect themselves from the world, because the world is all evil, everything in the world's bad. That's why I'm so bad. And So they're completely manipulated. So the longer they're just with her, the worse and worse things get. Because it's just her talking bad about me, talking down about me. And there's just nothing positive that comes from that situation, keeping me away. I mean, why would you want to keep me away? I haven't done nothing. I don't even spank them. Literally, I don't do not. Don't yell because they're very well behaved. And the only thing I ever even have to say is literally, what did I say to you? That's all I got. That's all I say. I don't have to yell at them. I don't know how Isabel can say she's so stressed in those situations she didn't like coming over. That doesn't make sense. First thing I do, as soon as I pick them up, I go right to like KFC or get pizza. First thing I do every single time, get them some kind of good food they're gonna like, and get movies. Usually Friday is like a movie night. We get movies, pizza or movie, and KFC. I try to do everything I can do to make them happy. They both have their own rooms, their own beds, their own TVs. They have everything they want here, trampoline, swings. Oh, that's another thing. I want to make sure you tell Jen that I want my four-wheeler back because she said she has some friend that's going to fix it for cheap or for free. She's had it over a year. Well, it's not been fixed. I want the four-wheeler back. And she's obviously not going to get it fixed. So I'll get it fixed. There's room in my backyard for Chloe to ride it. I want that back. She said she was going to get it fixed. She never did. So
yes, she did. So let me bring you back to what I want to hear about. Well, one of the things you said was you believe that their mother is filling their heads with lies about you. But
correct.
I am talking down about you. But I heard Isabel testify to you running her mother down to her.
I said her mom is the biggest liar that I've ever met in my life. That's what I said. I said she lies more than anybody I've ever known in my life. That's what I've said to her.
And she also testified that you told her that you're just like your mother.
Yeah, she is just like her mother, just like she's going to the little crying thing for the show, just like her other daughter going to the crying thing for the show. It's all play for the video. It's all, I'm crying. Oh, look how upset. It's not real. They all did it. They all three did it. I'll throw in a crying thing at the end. It's scripted. They go over this stuff. They know what they're going to say, how they're going to say it.
Hold on a minute. Ms. Farr, would you stop?
And for the record, also, to back that up, Your Honor, she had Child Protective Services come out to me again for the second time for no reason. And
when?
Well, she just had them come out here. They came and talked to me just prior to talking to you. Like a week ago, something like that.
Did they say why they were there?
Because Jen called them.
Well, I know they didn't tell you that because they do not disclose who called them. I asked, they tell you why they were there?
Because Jen filed a paper saying the kids were in danger physically and mentally.
But the children weren't there, were they?
Weren't where?
When with you?
No, they weren't with me.
Whoever filed this complaint, I know CPS didn't tell you who it was, that you probably surmised that's who it was, but I know they didn't tell you because they don't. They don't disclose who the reporter is ever.
I know she said that.
Hold on. I want to know what they asked you about.
They asked me questions like, were I ever hit the kids? Are the kids ever in danger? Do I keep guns at my house? Just random questions about the kids in my house, basically. And they said it was filed because of, I thought she said it, but regardless, it was filed because of physical and mental abuse.
Okay, so let's move to this September 25th from start to finish. Yeah.
And the caseworker also said this is an open and shut case. As far as she's concerned, that matters closed because there is no evidence of anything that was brought up.
That doesn't surprise me. If the children weren't with you when these complaints were made and you hadn't seen them for some time, That's exactly what I would expect CPS to do with that kind of a complaint. So let's move to September 25th. I want you to tell me your memory, start to finish, of your interaction with your girls that day.
Okay, well, Isabel come out, put some stuff in the car, in the back of the trunk, like she said. Then she came back with Chloe in the arms, just as her grandmother stated. They got in the car, got buckled up, and I said, how are you guys doing? Just as Isabel said. And what I didn't say a whole lot. I was upset that Isabel was coming because, and then where my mom said when she was getting the stuff in the back of the trunk, she said, oh, well, your dad wasn't planning on you coming out or didn't know you were, because I told Jen in emails that I did not want Isabel coming out this first weekend because I didn't want her to taint the atmosphere and have it be, Isabel grumpy, angry, whatever mood she's dealing with, on top of me and Chloe just having a good time, because Chloe was loving the whole time and wanting to see me, and Isabel was standoffish, and I didn't want that attitude around that environment. So when she did get in there, I said, well, you're going Grammys tonight. And she just snapped and said, I am not going anywhere or I'm not leaving leaving Chloe's side. Like, what are you talking about? I'm the father. You are to do what I tell you to do. You're going to stay with your grandma tonight. And then later, after going to that scenario a couple times on the way home, I said, after you stay there a night, tomorrow, I got a surprise for you guys. And I said, and I was going to take you to Indiana to Yogi Bear's campground. But now that you're not going with your grandma, and I'm sending you back home because I'm not dealing with it. I'm not listening to a disobedient daughter who's not going to listen. And I said, and I just reiterated that I'm the father. You are to listen to what I say. You do not make the rules. You do not say what goes on. I do. So,
Tony,
so basically,
let me stop you. All right, let me stop you.
Okay.
I got a question.
Sure.
What tone of voice were you using when you were telling Isabel these things?
I was in a stern voice. Now, we did have an argument where we both were yelling back and forth, which she stated she was yelling and I was yelling. Yes, we were both yelling back and forth. But
and that was the argument of, hold on. That was the argument about whether or not she was going to her grandmother's while Chloe went with you.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
And just basically an argument back and forth. But I didn't ball up my fist and punch in no back seat or any kind of ludicrous thought like that. There was nothing like that. That is just more dramatization, either way, that's how it's trying to make it something that is not. It's real simple. I'm the dad. If I tell my daughter to go stay with her grandma, she has to do that. She's not the boss.
So eventually, after Isabel dug her heels in and said she was not going to leave Chloe, you directed your mother to take the girls home?
Yeah, along the same scenario that Isabel told you, that went to the house first, put the stuff on the porch, got back in the car, went for a ride. Then I called my mom and said, you know what? I can't deal with her attitude. Just take them home. I'm not going to look at her face. I did say I'm not looking at her face telling me she's not going to do something. I'm the dad, and I cannot deal with that. I said, so take them home. And then she had to come back to get their stuff off the porch, which they did. And that's when I said to Isabel, I'm like, so just for the record, so why is daddy such a bad guy? Why? And the first thing she says, we don't know what you're going to do. Like, you don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even spank you guys. How are you scared of me at all when I don't even have to yell at them? I don't have to spank them. They're good kids. And all I do is spoil them the whole time, whatever food they want, and just have their cousins over just about every other time. First thing, I have their cousins over about every other time, because as soon as Chloe gets in the car, the very first thing she says, what are my cousins doing? Daddy, can my cousins come over, please? That's what she lives for, is seeing her cousins. She loves them to death. And Jen hates my side. She hates my family. She hates my brother's kids. She hates everything about me and everybody else on my side. Everybody on my side is the devil, evil, bad, and her side is perfect. So that's about the gist of that.
All right, now there were a number of other things that were said by other witnesses. I don't know if you made a lot of notes, but I want to give you a chance to address whatever came out that you want me to hear about. So go ahead.
Thank you, Honor. I appreciate that. It's not a whole lot. Just I wrote down some things, but little different things that they said were false. This and that is irrelevant. It doesn't even matter to this case. It's just this more drama they want to put in it. Something I was wanting to say, just that their mom, Jen's mom, and Jen. And everybody heard me yelling. They hear to the end of the block, supposedly, but couldn't make out one word. Didn't hear one thing I said, but they heard me yelling. Okay, that's more trying to make it more than it is. If you hear me yelling right next to your house and into the driveway and then down the street, you would have heard one word. Not one of them said one thing I said. So that's a lie. So, it's stuff that's inconsistencies with what they're saying. But one thing I would like to say, this is an exact, I would say, metaphor or analogy of what Donald Trump has went through. Now, I don't want to bring up politics, but long story short, he was the one accused of doing something wrong, doing everything wrong. They impeached him on nothing. This is the exact same thing I'm going through. She's trying to keep my kids away from me for nothing. End of story.
Okay, anything else you want to tell me?
No, Your Honor. Except one thing, Your Honor. I want the whole order changed. I want to go by the friend of the court handbook. The whole time when this originally got written up, I told you that I wanted holidays in there because you asked Jen if she wanted holidays in there. She said, no, I'm a Jehovah's Witness. I don't believe in holidays. And I said, well, I do. So I think I should get them all. Instead of me getting anything written in there about holidays, nothing was put in there. So therefore, now I can't have one holiday. I don't get them for Christmas break. I don't get them ever on Thanksgiving. I don't get any holidays. I don't get the month of the summer that most parents get. I don't get nothing. All I get is her saying no. And I have all I can do is file parenting time complaints, which go nowhere because you never back up what you tell her. You said she's going to go to jail. She's got 8 days hanging over her head. This isn't about jail. You probably think that, and she probably thinks that, but it's not about jail. It's about me getting my time. And when she takes my time away from a holiday or a birthday, which she cannot stand holidays, birthdays, Christmas, anything. So if I want them on that time, she will do whatever she can do to keep them from me. And then what do? You just give me another day back, which does nothing for me because she ruined the holiday. The days are not equal. A holiday event where she gets to see her cousins and her aunts and uncles and relatives is not equivalent to a day, just some random day. So she is never going to learn her lesson if you don't back up what you say. You said she's going to go to jail. Well, she keeps doing it. Now she's done it 10, 12 times, and you still have not backed up what you said. She does not care what you say. She's going to do whatever she wants. She is, and on your last order, you ordered me to stay in the car. From that point on, I have not yet stepped foot out of the car. You ordered her to stay in the house. She's not one time stayed in the house. Once again, disobeying what you say, but she gets away with it every time. I'm waiting to see. It's just like I said before in court. It's just like a child that you enable. If you keep telling a kid, don't do that, and then you don't give them any repercussions for being bad, they're going to keep doing it. So she has no fear of you. She doesn't care what you say.
Did you talk to your mother about her testifying here today?
I talked to her this morning. She said Jen was saying I was supposed to be there. I didn't receive any paperwork. No one told me nothing. I said, if no one served you, then you don't have to be there. She probably thought I was going to serve you, and I didn't, because I'm not worried about witnesses. I haven't done nothing. I don't care. I don't need nobody saying anything.
All right, so you don't plan to ask your mother to testify today?
No, there's nothing to testify. We argued, big deal. That's what happened. She stated what happened. I stated what happened. Only discrepancy really is me balling up my fist and punching it in the back seat. That's just ludicrous. And
Okay,
then in this court case, she didn't even say that I punched in the back seat like she did prior, but she said I balled up my fist. Either way, I didn't do anything. So we had an argument. Parents have arguments with kids. That's how it goes.
All right, let me see if there's any further testimony that Ms. Spar wants to introduce to address anything that you've said, so hold on. Okay, Ms. Spar, I did tell you that I would give you a chance to introduce what we call rebuttal testimony, but only to address things that Mr. Cook said, not anything else. Is there any witness you would like me to call to offer rebuttal testimony?
Well, I would like to comment on what he said, and what I did was just took voice notes on the things that he said, and Isabel would like to comment on what he said also.
All right, let me hear from Isabel first. Put her in front of the, all right. Hi, Isabel.
Hi.
So you understand that you're still under oath to tell the truth?
Yes.
All right, was there anything that your dad said that you want to respond to?
Everything that he said was all watered down. He made the situation seem like it was nothing, and that the fight we had was just, small. It wasn't anything serious. But in all reality, it affected me. Whether it didn't affect him, it affected me in a much more personal level than he said it did him. I mean, to him, it was just some small fight. It wasn't like that for me. It caused a lot of stress that was put on me, and everything he said was just so watered down and such a lie. The stuff, I just really can't believe that he would even say half the stuff that it was a lot more serious than that. You weren't just mildly, it wasn't a mild fight, it was an actual fight. You were screaming at me. Just because we couldn't hear exactly what everyone was saying, when two people are screaming at each other, you're not just gonna hear exactly what one person says. Your words are gonna get mixed together. That's why nobody can understand what we're saying. And where is my grandma at? She was there. She heard everything.
Thank you. So I want to hear from your mother now.
Okay, Your Honor, I just want to say that both Chloe and Isabel are very honest little girls. Just giving a character reference for them. They do not lie. They would never make up stories. They would never come home to me and tell me these things that happened to them for any other reason than it truly happening. And they are very detailed in what they say. This has been going on for a long time. I filed several complaints with the friend of the court, several of them. I have called protective services. I have also called the police. I have 8 police reports of domestic violence on Carl right here. This is an ongoing pattern. His use of metabolic steroids has made his personality worse. I have watched him with my own 2 eyes do metabolic steroids. I have watched him. I know he does steroids. It has ruined the person that he was when I first met him. And in addition to that, everything he pretty much said was taking the heat off of him. Some of the things he said he might have done a few times, but never to the extent that he said that he's done them. Your Honor, I put him on 2 of my memberships. A membership to the Toledo Zoo every single year. He didn't give me a dime for that. The reason I did it is because I wanted him to take them places. I wanted him to build a relationship with them. He's also on my membership that I have at Kalamazoo Museum. That was $150 membership, and I put his name on there along with his nieces and nephews so he could take them. Not once has he taken them to either place that I know of. He does not do anything with them when he has them. He constantly...
Miss Spar, let me stop you. You're only supposed to be addressing things that Mr. Cook said.
Okay.
I don't want you to go beyond that.
One of the things that he said to them was about us being Jehovah's Witnesses. Your Honor, he's condemning me for being a Jehovah's Witness. He's not condemning me for being a drug addict and an alcoholic like him. He's condemning me for something that's good. My children are who they are today because of Bible principles, because we live our lives using Bible principles. They're very well informed of what the scriptures say about all these different things. Okay, he's condemning me for that. And another thing I want to say, Isabel would never say to me that he balled up his fist the way that he did and made her flinch. She would never, ever make that up. That truly did happen. And she said that when they were arguing, the veins on his neck were popping out. And that his structure was a structure of someone that just wanted to explode. And she also said that when they were getting ready to leave his house, I don't know if it was the first time or the second time, that his mom was so scared at watching his behavior with the girls that she was trying to get into the car and leave them. And Isabel was looking at her like, you are not leaving us here with him. We are going with you. She said his mom was trying to get away. She was so scared she didn't even have words to say. Where is she today? She was in the car. Why didn't he take the time? I paid the $15. I had her subpoenaed. Okay, she knew about it. I messaged her over 1 month ago, telling her what date and time, everything. She knew she was supposed to be here, but he knew that if she showed up, she wasn't going to lie for him. And that's why she said she never got the paperwork. She was in the car. She was there. She should be his key witness. He didn't call her in on purpose because he knew he was done.
Well, hold on. You're moving into the area of argument, which both of you are allowed to do, but it's not time for argument. It's time for you to offer testimony that directly addresses only things that Mr. Cook said when he testified.
The next thing he said is that he said Isabel was acting grumpy and angry. If anybody knows, Isabel is the sweetest, kindest, nicest little girl, Your Honor, that you are ever going to meet. She would never try to act mean or grumpy. Never, especially to him. She's scared of him. She would never act like this. But she was determined he was not taking Chloe ever again.
You're making arguments. You're not addressing his testimony.
The next thing is, he said that he was going to take them to Yogi Bear's campground. Isabel said nothing was ever mentioned like that. He said it in mentioning.
Hold on. I don't want you to tell me what Isabel heard or what Isabel said. I only want to hear your firsthand testimony about what Mr. Cook said or what you observed that bears upon only what he testified to today.
Your Honor, I do not lie. I'm not a pathological liar. I'm a very honest person, and I would never do this to anybody. I would never do this to anybody.
Do what?
Say this is not true. I would never, ever falsely accuse somebody of doing these things.
I'm gonna stop you. You're launching into argument. I'll give you a chance for argument.
This is my note. It says I would like to know what he says I've ever lied about. Even one thing. I want to know. He says I'm a pathological liar. Please ask him what I have ever lied about. Ask him.
All right. I will ask that question.
I ask him what it was I've lied about. He knows I don't lie.
Would you give me a chance?
Okay.
Yes,
Mr.
Your
Cook,
Honor.
can you give an example of something that Ms. Spar has lied about?
100%. I'm glad she asked such a question. Then I have, irrefutable evidence of, she filed a false police report on me, said I shoved her with Chloe in her arms, and filed a police report. The cops came to her house, filed it, called me the next morning, and asked me about it. I had the whole thing videotaped. I was holding my camera the whole time. She pushed me as I was walking away, pushed me down the steps. I said, "You just pushed me. You're going to jail. I'm calling the cops." And after looking at the video, it shows the whole thing, every single thing. No, I'm not even close to her. I'm walking away, and you see me go boom, 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 boom down the steps. I didn't fall, but I got pushed forward. And it didn't show her hands pushing me. So I was like, well, no big deal. I'm not going to actually call the cops that day. I just kind of threatened her to scare her. And then instead of it going nowhere, she had the cops come to me, and she actually filed a report, which I showed the cop the video. It clearly shows I didn't touch her. She made a false police report. I filed the same kind of charge on her because I said, well, yeah, I'm filing on her because she pushed me. And then, of course, the case just gets dropped because they don't want to have a case of a.
All right.
That's a perfect case. That's the biggest lie you can have.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, can I please just finish this? She lied so severely that she tried to put me in jail. You can't lie bigger than that.
You've answered the question. Thank you. So, Ms. Spar, you asked for an example of a time when you, hold on, I'm talking. You asked him for an example of one time that you lied, and he just gave an example that you falsely reported to the police that he pushed you while you had Chloe in your arms. Let me ask you, did you tell the police that?
Yes, and he did push me. And in the video, it shows him take his phone. I didn't see the video, but I was there, and Isabel was inside. Isabel heard
Whoa. Stop.
That was not a lie.
Stop.
I did not file a false police
Stop.
report. Right here.
Stop. You asked for an example, and he gave an example. Oh, that's your version.
I'm the victim. From what the video showed, exactly what I said in this report. So that was not a lie.
If the video showed that Mr. Cook pushed you, there would have been charges brought against him. Were there?
He took his phone right when he pushed me, and he held it to his chest. And the officer said he's seen him do that. He held the phone to his chest. He pushed me into the desk, and then
Hold on a minute.
And then I pushed him up.
You've just verified to me that the phone did not show him pushing you, correct?
But I was there. I was pushed, and he took his phone and
all right. I don't need to hear any more about this.
This was not a lie.
All right. I think I've heard enough testimony today. I want to give you both a chance to make an argument for what I should do. I don't want you to launch into more testimony, but I will give you a chance to make an argument. And then when we're done, I want to figure out a way that I can speak privately with Chloe. Because of COVID, I can't have her in here, which is what I would normally do for interviewing a minor child. But if I'm going to talk to her, I want it to be where nobody else can hear except me and Chloe. Is there a place in your home where that can happen?
Yes.
Where would that be?
We're gonna go outside, and she can sit here and talk to you.
Is there a way you can turn the camera so that I can see that you're outside?
Yes, I can open up the shade out here on the window, and then you can see that we're standing outside, and I'll have her sit right here.
All right, so before I do that, I want to give you both a chance to make your arguments. So let's, Ms. Spar, so here are the ground rules for argument, okay? I really don't want to hear more testimony at all. What I want to hear from you is what you would like me to order and why, okay? So we'll first hear from you, Ms. Spar. I'm going to keep Mr. Cook muted. And then when you're done, I will hear from him and I'm going to mute you. And when I do that, I don't want you holding things up to the camera. All right. So, Ms. Barr, tell me what it is you would like me to do and why.
I would like supervised visitations. Protective Services just did an investigation in our case, and she did interview both girls on 2 different occasions, and she interviewed myself. She called me and said she did end up talking to Mr. Cook. But when she was here doing the interview, she told both myself and Isabel, based on what Isabel had told her. She talked to Isabel for 2.5 hours. Based on what Isabel told her, she said to Isabel, Isabel, I cannot tell you not to obey the judge. But without telling you not to obey the judge, I would not go with you.
So Ms. Barr,
So I think that
you're giving me new information.
I didn't get a chance
I don't want new information. All I want is to know what you want and why, but the why has to be based on testimony presented.
Okay.
So you want them to have super visits, and the reason you want supervised visits is because you want somebody else to see how Mr. Cook interacts with his child.
I would like, those are going to start seeing Shannon Louder, and I would like for Shannon Louder to talk with them, and maybe she can let you know how that's going or but I have been advised by Protective Services. They couldn't tell me not to listen to you, but that would be the best situation for the girls. They are both very scared of Carl. His behavior has progressively gotten worse over the years. You can't believe a word that he says. He waters everything down. So please, just protect my
So let
kids.
me ask you, do you remember the name of the CPS worker that you
Yes.
spoke with?
Her name was Ashley Plum, and she
Hold on, I don't want you to tell me what she told you. How recently did she see the girls? How recently did she speak with Mr. Cook?
She just seen Chloe last week on Tuesday, and I think she talked to him just a little bit after that.
So within the last week or two, the
Yeah.
CPS worker has spoken with both your daughters,
Yeah,
with you,
the
and with Mr. Cook.
Yes, and the doctor's office called Protective Services, not myself. I called on the 25th, that evening I called Protective Services, but there wasn't enough information for them to open a case. So Isabel's doctor, when Isabel had her visit with her, Isabel's doctor went through all of their files, and which there's 5 doctors. So not every doctor reads the whole file before they go back in. And based on what she had been reading and what had been going on over a 5-year period, she called Protective Services and reported mental and physical abuse.
How do you know the doctor's office made a report?
Because she told me that she did. I talked with Isabel's doctor, and she said to me, I don't have any other choice.
Who's the doctor?
They go see Dr. Wilsey.
Wilsey?
Wilsey.
Spell that.
I have to write it out. I think it's Wilsey. Wilsey. I just call her Wilsey.
And where's Dr. Wilsey's office?
There's 2 offices. There's one in Chelsea and one in Ann Arbor, and she mainly has been doing Ann Arbor, but most of our visits have been telemed visits for like the last month or last year or 9 months.
All right. So you would like me to order supervised visits. I get that. I'm going to hear from Mr. Cook now.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cook, I think I've already heard from you what you want me to order and why. You want me, first of all, to punish Ms. Spar for disobeying my orders for visitations. And you also want me to order Chloe to begin coming to visits again, but you want those visits expanded so that you get holidays every other weekend, 4 weeks during the summer, basically what the friend of the court handbook
Right,
calls
just how it's stated. Sorry, Your Honor.
reasonable rights of parenting time.
Correct.
All right. I understand that that's what you're looking for. So I am going to close the record today. This hearing is live streamed on the internet. I'm going to turn off the live stream. I'm going to boot everybody else out except for Chloe. But I want to talk to Chloe privately. I'm not going to quiz her about things that happened. I don't do that. But I want to get her perspective on what kind of a relationship she wants with Mr. Cook and why. And with that, and then once I get that information, I will issue a decision. It's possible that I might hold another hearing very shortly so that I can hear directly from this CPS worker that's doing an investigation. But that will be on the record. You'll all get a chance to hear that. Mr. Cook, you had a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Oddly enough, this CPS worker was the same CPS worker that handled the case the first time when she did file a false police report on me. She had a copy of the CD. She's seen it. She knows the whole thing, the whole case. So it's just perfect that the CPS worker was the same one I had the first time. So she can collaborate everything I said. She's seen the video. She's seen me that I got pushed. And Jen never got touched. I never got close to her. She wasn't holding Chloe. And so everything she said about her not lying, she will collaborate and prove that, yeah, she was lying.
All right. So it sounds like this is a witness that you believe I should hear from. And
Yes,
Ms. Spar, and I think Ms. Spar thinks I need to hear from this witness. So I think that's what will be good. I'll schedule another hearing very shortly. As soon as I can get it on my calendar, I will notify you. Ms. Spar, I want to tell you something. The theatrics that you go through when I'm hearing from Mr. Cook aren't helping your cause. They don't do you any good at all. When I see you behaving like that on the other side of the camera, it makes me believe all the things that Mr. Cook tells me about you. You need to control yourself, ma'am. All right, now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to close the record here, and I'm going to see if Ms. Spar can arrange the camera in a way so that I can see there's nobody else in the room, so that I can have a private conversation with Chloe. So, Mr. Cook, you'll be hearing from me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Shannon, you can take us off the record.
Okay.
Ms. Spar, I want you to aim the camera in a direction where I can see both Chloe and see whoever else is in the house. I guess the one I'm most concerned with is you. I want to make sure you are not able to hear.
Back window right here, and I will go out on the porch.
Right. Let's do that. As soon as I see you out there, then I will start talking to Chloe. Chloe, you can come up and have a seat now.
Chloe, come here. I just want to introduce you. This is Judge LaFlamme, and this is who Mommy and Daddy talk to when we go to court. So you're going to sit here, and he's going to ask you some questions. He insists you're going to go outside, okay? And don't be scared. You can tell him anything you want. Don't be scared. It's going to be okay. All right, sit down. You have to. Hi,
Chloe.
Hi.
So, Chloe, tell me how old you are. 8? What grade are you in?
Second.
Could you do me a favor and slide to the other side of your chair so that I can see the window?
Yeah.
That's it. Perfect. Is that window open just a little bit?
Just a little.
All right. Can you close it yourself or ask someone else to close it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Now let me see. I want to make sure I see everybody out there. So, Chloe, the first thing
This hearing is only the beginning of a much larger custody battle. Throughout today's testimony, the father repeatedly insisted that the allegations against him were false, and that the mother had been alienating the children and influencing their fear of him. But the biggest developments haven't happened yet. In part 2, the judge hears additional evidence and ultimately explains why many of the mother's claims are not supported the way she argued, leading to some of the strongest criticism of her conduct in the entire case. Subscribe now so you don't miss the final hearing, where the judge reveals what changed the court's view. and why the father's repeated claims about false allegations become a central issue in the final decision.